So, what is an inner motivator? What motivates you to be the person you are, to do the things you want to do, to get up in the morning, to set your goals, to decide what it is that you want to do every single day? Let's talk about the external motivator versus the internal motivator today, because this is really important. I'm kind of changing up the way that I'm, just so you know, we'll get right to the inner and the external motivator, the internal and the external motivator. But I'm going through, I don't know what I'm going through. I know that I'm moving through grief, and I'm moving through changing myself, and I've got an internal motivator that is talking to me, and I'm meditating and deciding, like, where am I going from here? What is it that I want to do? I have like little holes in this table, so for the tripod. So excuse me while I'm moving it around. I thought it was perfect, then it moved. And it's really cold. We're in the Arctic freeze still. I'm coming out of it tomorrow, so I think it's tomorrow. So anyway, Steve, my hubby, was the one that was always with the weather. I always knew everything that was going on because of him. Because oops, look at my very clean makeup that smears. So so I'm not exactly sure whether I'm going to continue coming on YouTube every single day. You know, I was going to do this. I did all last year, and actually started last year made sense because it was self-talk, positive 365 days of positive self-talk for finding your purpose. And I really it is part of my drive to help people very fundamentally, to help them to grow and find success in their life. And with anything that based on my own, what I have learned and what I've applied and what has worked for me, and then what I'm trying and what's working, I like to share that as well. And or not working, whatever it is, I'm pretty honest, and I just tell you the way things are. So I'm not sure where this daily on this channel is going, because my podcast is really important to me, and I'm finally getting that to where I'll be cleaned up and I can actually upload and get things working the way that I want to, and actually knowing what the podcast is about. And it is just going to be Lynnie Motivates, because everything that I do is about motivating others and myself through motivating others, through learning, through experiencing things. And so I'm not sure where this is going to go, and I just wanted to let you know that. So so we'll see where it goes. But for today, because I'm doing all kinds of meditating and thinking and even some journaling. I journaled for so many years, and then my fingers started messing up, and it made it hard to write. And so then I started doing a line a day, and then I didn't have enough room to say all I wanted to say. And somehow I got a little disconnected from something that I enjoyed doing for so many years, every single day. So it's I'm kind of at a loss for where that, because that was not just a habit, and a really good one, but it was really good for me as well, and really served me well. So back to that. I've been journaling just a little bit. So today, January 20th. I don't even know if I'll say the days anymore. I'll just I'm not gonna. There's no need for a countdown. That's the one thing Lynette, my daughter, said. She's like, well, Mommy, there was, 365 days you were helping people to find their purpose. And now it's just self-talk. And this is what you do. That's part of I teach practical spirituality. So that is the human, the spiritual journey and the human experience. And truly, I actually had 3 legs or 3 pillars to that. And the third pillar was the inner the internal and the external motivator. Because when I heard about that, and a lot of the stuff that like Joe Dispenza and others teach, and it didn't start here, but the Master Key System, that was a book that really got me started more than probably anything else, had the most influence. Probably more because I wanted to create and manifest things that in my life, and I wanted to I wanted Lynette to have, I was young when I had her, and I wanted myself, but I really wanted her. I wanted her to have a really good life. And so I really moved into the spirituality, and I mean, through many bumpy ways of getting there, the master key system became a big part of my life, but I didn't understand it very well. I knew that it used to be a 24-week correspondence course, if you even know what that is. You have to be around my age, but which I'm 63, and I actually took a correspondence course through the mail. It was mail correspondence, and it was 24 weeks. I did not take that course. That was in the 20s, I believe, and and maybe it was in the 40s when the actual correspondence course. I'm not exactly. I need to figure that one out just for my own, because I keep saying maybe the 20s, maybe the 40s. I think it was the 20s. But anyway, so that was a 24-week, and it really helped people to envision. And if you read it, it's like go into a room, look at the same spot on the wall, and see like little, be able to draw a triangle, draw one angle and then another, and then it helps you to actually visualize. And the whole point is to help you visualize what it is you really want in your life. If you can visualize it, and then if you can feel it, like the whole point is know that it's already yours. And a lot of the reason why I enjoy Joe Dispenza, his meditations, is because he has not just done the science on it, the experiments or any of that, the studies on it, but because he takes you into the blackness, which that's the quantum field. And back then it wasn't the quantum field. It was just consciousness and God, and knowing this is what Charles F. Hannell, who wrote the book, a very successful businessman in his time, he was telling people, this is how you do it. If you see it, like he got it down. If you see it, if you can see it, then you can create it. And then you have that, like, just have the faith that it's there. It exists already. And then you just take those steps to make it happen. And because this is a planet of action. In a nutshell, basically just know it's already there. It's already done. And people will tell you that. And it's so hard to do. And I think that where Joe Dispenza excels is that he actually helps you to see that, to take you to the unified field, the quantum field, whatever you want to call that, consciousness. You become consciousness. And so he actually has helped in the modern world, if you want to call it that, in our world. He helps people to actually see and move themselves there. So I like that. And but there's a lot of concepts from the Master Key System, which are concepts from the Egyptians and from all the like that go on and on. It's like there is nothing new. None of this stuff is new. It's just how it is brought to us and to every generation. So I got into that. Why did I get into that? Because I was talking about how I got into the spiritual journey, and then having that, and then the human experience, and then the third pillar of practical spirituality, which I teach, is or was, I don't anymore. I actually do in my short course, which is on my website, LynnieMotivates.com, and that short course, which is free, it has the third pillar, which is the internal motivator and the external motivator. So what is it that has me coming here day after day and reading a passage or doing, talking to you, enjoying being with you? Like, what motivates me to come out here, even in cold weather or whatever it is, to do it? And even when times are difficult. Well, my drive, for just internally, that I want to be of service, because it's part of my purpose. And it's one of the reasons why I did 365 days of positive self-talk, all of 24 and the last 2 months of 23, because finding your purpose is so pivotal for a person when they understand. And I'm talking about like that overall. I'm not talking about being a role, like being a parent or being a loving child or whatever the role it is, the identity. And we talked a couple of nights ago about the identity and losing self and and holding, tying ourselves to an identity who's not really us, and then it gets pulled for whatever reason. For me, Steve transitioned after 35 years together, and all of a sudden it's like, who am I without Steve, right? So that was that. But that happens to all of us. And but these, we feel like sometimes these are our purposes. Like, our purpose is to be a good mother. Our purpose is to be a good wife, a good husband, the bread earner, whatever it is, to create a good life for others, to share whatever the things are. But what is the overall reason that you came to planet Earth? Like, what is that overarching mission? I would call it your mission. Why did you come to planet Earth? So that, I care deeply about that, because once a person finds that, it gives them direction. They are in their boat with a rudder. They are steering it. They are at the helm of their own boat, and they have direction. Whew. That's why I did that. This year is different for me because it's not about purpose. It's, that's definitely, if I can help and encourage or inspire or motivate you to look for that and pay attention to that, I'm going to, because that's important. So, here goes my makeup. Look, it's just streaming down my face. See, if I look at you in the camera and I don't see me, and then every once in a while I look and it's like, wow, and I don't even know why I look. Okay, if you like clean stuff, just know that, look, I remind me of my mother when we were going to church. She'd spit and then clean stuff. Anyway, I'm just going to let that go because it's just going to be there. It's fine. So if I get more, that's okay. But anyway, because it's cold and so my eyes are weepy. And anyway, so that's that, going back to the internal and the external motivator, just all of that. Like I was talking about finding your purpose. I hope you find it. I really do. I hope you'll pay attention to that, because you will be able to be at the helm of your own boat and drive your own boat. So every once in a while I'm going to look at myself just because make sure it doesn't get so bad. Now I think I just made that red. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about the internal and the external motivator. What is that? And I've talked about it before. And that is, and if you want to take my short mini course, it's LynnieMotivates.com. And it's a free resource on there. I think it's like halfway down the page. My website's being revamped again. So anyway, it's a soul-powered journey, or soul-powered. Just look for soul-powered, and you'll find it. So I love it because, not that I love the concept or the idea of the internal external motivator, because it explains a lot about why, not just our programs, because I love the neuroplasticity and it's our programs. So it's going to be tied to the programs. Yet, what is it? What's the internal motivator? Like, what gets you up in the morning? What gets you excited? What keeps you going and making the choice to keep going every single day? Like I was saying, what brings me out every day to chat with you? Why am I so consistent at it? And why are you so consistent at whatever it is that you do every day that you love or you feel is important, or going to work and earning a paycheck, or drawing your art, or making a beautiful meal or salad, or something, or taking your child out to play, or visiting with your grandchildren, like as much as you can, and you always get them. You're so motivated to, celebrate their birthdays, and all the little things. So what motivates you to do that? Well, that's your internal motivator when you do things on your own. So when you want to make a change that is so important to you, like your finances, you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, okay? And you're like, I'm going to change my ways. I'm going to figure it out. How can so-and-so do it and I can't? Like, why haven't I been able to do it yet? So I'm going to find a new job, or I'm going to create my own online business, or I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to get a couple of extra jobs and make the money. And then And then for whatever reason, you go and you're going to go attend a seminar where somebody is like, I'm going to teach you how to be organized. Like, say you want to be organized. That's another one. People want to declutter their homes. They want to be organized so they can get their crap together and make things happen. And what happens? They go to a seminar like for a whole weekend or something, and they're in front of somebody that is very well known and are very motivating and inspiring. Somebody, say Tony Robbins, or just someone, Joe Dispenza. I'm trying to think of somebody. I think Tony Robbins always comes to the forefront because for whatever reason, I mean, I have some of his books and stuff, but people who make an impact and with so many people. So I just use him as most people seem to know him. So that's why I use him as an example. But there's so many people. There's so many spiritual leaders and others. Think about Billy Graham, like what an impact that he made if you know who he is. And anyway, that the speech, it doesn't have to be fiery. It could just be like passionate. And they grab you and it's like, I can do that. I can be, if it's Billy Graham, it's like, I'm a believer. And if it's Tony Robbins, like, I can change my ways. My financial success. I can do this. I can do that. And there you are. So what we're talking about is the external motivator, right? You're here at this, you're being motivated. You're so excited. And then you go home and you have your hubby's in a bad mood, or he's watching football and that puts you in a bad mood, or the kid's sick or crying, or the teacher calls from school and somebody was acting up, the car won't start, or something, and here you are on fire, and then the next day you're gonna hit it again, right? You have all the tools, you have all the books from the seminar, and you've taken all the notes, and maybe even made yourself some flashcards and bought all the stuff. And then the next day, you're just a little more removed from it, and because you still have the sick child, or you've got to go go call the mechanic, or the plumbing stopped, the toilet stopped up, or something, and life starts happening. And man, it is so cold out here. Woo! I don't even want to rub my eyes. But anyway, those are your programs. The reason that you stopped are your internal programs, your mental programs running that I talk about all the time, that tell you you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you could never make enough money, you'll never have enough money, you're somebody else can do it better than you, and you start self-doubt, lack of confidence, like all of that starts creeping in. That's self-esteem, and those are programs. But what was happening was you had an external motivator that was like, rah, you got this, you can do it. And it's wonderful while you're there at the time. And it feels so good. And then you go home and whatever happens, life happens. And your programs kick in and say, you couldn't do that anyway. And man, look at how much money you spent, loser. And like all this kind of stuff. And you had the greatest of intentions, and you really would love to be that person. That person is there, by the way, that can do all those things, that can have the financial means and create whatever it is that you want to create, because you are a creator, and you can create and bring from the invisible into the visible, into the material world. We talk about that a lot. So that's the external motivator. Think of a Tony Robbins. And then you, the internal motivator. What has motivated you to do the things that you do that you love to do? These are those are your programs. Those are your values, the things that are important to you, why you do the things you do. And your internal motivator, whatever your programs say you can do or can't do, and whatever you believe, that's your internal motivator. So this is why I love it so mucho, and why I kind of incorporated it into the human experience rather than making it a separate pillar, if you will, in my teachings, although it almost has a separate, like it needs its own space so people can understand. Because why do we do the things we do? Meaning, like, why are we motivated to do something? And then when we're so excited and we go and we figure out, get all the tools, all the planners. Oh my gosh, how many planners do you have that you never filled out? I don't know about you, but I have so many on my wall that I haven't done, and they're pretty, and I still don't want. I mean, I've recycled a couple, but I still have them because I almost feel guilty. Some of them, but it's like, how many have? Or I've started some, and I don't want to throw them away because I had good ideas in them or something. But how many do you have? Like, it's so typical, especially come this time of year. Planners, like, what sells out most? Calendars and planners, and like, we all want to get organized and get to the gym every day, or do exercise and mark it on on our planner, and all these things that we want to do at the beginning of a year, and then we fizzle out. That's the internal motivator, because that's our programming. And so I want to share that with you, because you can change that. Those are programs. And if you were to change your programs to have that healthy self-esteem that says what you can do versus what you can't do, and what can't be done, like what can be done rather than what can't be done, that is what that self-talk language does. That is neuroplasticity, and the ability to rewire your brain with the programs that you want, that benefit you and help you to achieve the things you want to achieve in life. It's as simple as that. It's your programs, and you can change them. And then when you go to a Tony Robbins event, or whoever, a Billy Graham, who's no longer around, but his son is, or whoever it is, that somebody that motivates you to, somebody on YouTube that motivates you to want to declutter your home and organize yourself and take care of your finances. When your program's a self-esteem, and that you can do things rather than can't, when you change your programs, rewire your brain to those, and then you go to those events, then you go to an external motivator, guess what your internal motivator says? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. And there's nothing that's going to stop me, because I can do it. I want to do it. I can do it. That's the shift. That is the shift. External motivators are wonderful. They help us, they encourage us, they motivate us, they inspire us, and they have things to share with us that we can take and make our own. This is a community. Like, we all motivate each other in ways and inspire others. My daughter inspires me every day. She's actually a client of mine. We've gotten back to her coaching, and she inspires me. My clients inspire me as a life coach. And, but that so we all motivate and inspire each other. But when someone has something they can really help us with, and we really want that, we really want to change our financial situation, we really want to declutter our home, we really want to organize our life, we really want to take control of our life, we really want that wonderful relationship, we want to work on our relationship so we can be with our spouse or partner and give it our all, and save the marriage, or whatever it is, save the relationship with our kids, have, be able to sell, like, have that self-confidence in knowing in our product, and knowing we can sell, because our programs have changed to say, I can do it financially. I can do it. And I'm no longer afraid that somebody's going to reject me. Like, every no is give me, what was it that Tom Hopkins used to say, if you know who he is? I think my hubby and I bought, I always say about $5,000, but I think we spent more on all of they were big videotapes. I think it was like 24 big, beautifully bound, all of that. And it's still in our garage. I didn't know what to do with it. It's on the big videos. But anyway, and all the workbooks and everything else, we got it all. And I was like, rah, rah, external motivator. And, like selling. Because, like, selling commercial real estate, I went and knocked on doors, but man, I did not like that cold calling. And what he would say is, with every no you get, the 10th one, you get a yes. So for every no, you celebrate and you say, thank you for the no. Thank you for the no. I never could do that. I tried to do that. It wasn't my thing, but, so I would say it. thank you for the note. But inside, my self-esteem is like, so I still did really well, but it was sheer determination, I'll tell you that. And anyway, that is the difference between an internal and external motivator. The internal motivator is you, your programs, and what you can do or can't do, what you believe. And remember that the whole thing with programming is it's your programs, right? And my fingers, I'm freezing because it's really cold. But your programs create your beliefs. Your beliefs create your attitudes, and your attitudes create your beliefs create your emotions around things. Your emotions or feelings create your beliefs, attitudes, emotions, your behaviors. So your behaviors, and then your behaviors create your outcome. So if you could, from the very beginning, if you changed your program, you change it into, you'd have a new belief. And that new belief could be, I can do it. A healthy self-esteem. I love myself. I trust my decisions. I trust myself. I'm confident. And when somebody tells me no now, it's like, oh, that's okay. You're just not the right person for it. I'll go to the next one. I mean, I would have loved to have had that. I probably have way more of that now than, I haven't had to go sell, but my self-esteem just from well over a year that I've been doing this, I have, my neuroplasticity, my brain has rewired immensely. So it has given me a lot more self-confidence in areas that I never really thought that it would. So it's pretty fun, but it is freezing out here. So I think that I'm going to take my little mascara that keeps dripping with my eyes, my organic clean mascara that is not glue. So it keeps dripping down my face. And I think I'm going to take that and go inside. So I really wanted you to understand about the internal and external motivator, because it's very powerful. Because then when you go and you find someone who can help you, that influences you, and you know that what they're sharing is so positive and it can change your life, then your inner motivator says, yes, I can. And then you go home and yes, you do. You achieve. You do whatever it is you want. Have you ever wondered when people go to whoever, like a Tony Robbins, and then they achieve their goals? He brings them up and these testimonials, and look what this person did, and look what this person did. But look at the thousands of people that never go up on that stage. Only a few go up on that stage compared to how many were there. And what kind of programs do they have? If you interviewed those peeparoos, you'd probably hear them say, I got this, I can do it. And maybe they grew up in sports, or they grew up with a family that said, you're going to be an attorney, so go get it. You're going to achieve. You cannot not achieve in this family, or whatever it is. But they had programs. Doesn't mean they're all wonderful programs, because no matter if you were born in a reasonably positive household, you heard, until the age of 18, you heard at least 148,000 times no, and what couldn't be done. And you heard that at least 148,000 times if you were raised in a reasonably positive household. So we all have a lot of the program that we have to overcome. And overcoming is pretty easy when you go into my description and download the app, right? The self-talk app that Dr. Shad Helmstetter created for positive self-talk. It will rewire your brain. Whew! Okay, so I'm going to read you the passage for today from Dr. Shad Helmstetter's book, 365 Days of Positive Self-Talk. And this applies, everything always applies. And remember, these are phrases. This is just like one of the phrases you'll get in the self-talk language that Dr. Shad created to rewire your brain. I never let problems or challenges hold me back or stop me. Instead of letting problems get me down, I keep myself up. I keep my eye on the goal, take the right action, believe in the best, have faith, move on, and make my day a winning day. Now, if that's not positive self-talk, very specific to the brain, I don't know what is, but that is very, very specific. So I believe in you. You can do it. If you'd like to work with me, you can go into the description and find a link to work with me. If you'd like to download the Self-Talk app, you'll find a link there. 30 days free. I love you so very, very mucho. I'll tell you more as I unfold into my new future of wherever I'm going. And I'll keep you, so long as you're hanging with me, I'll share whatever I've got, because I really want to touch and impact people's lives. It's a driving force within me. It is an internal motivator, and it keeps me coming out. And really, I love for you to see, like, I could, inside the house is nice and cozy, got a fire, but I want you to see, look, here goes my makeup again. I'll take me off. But anyway, I just want you to see all this. Like, isn't it beautiful? I want you to see beauty and hopefully be inspired by it too. You know, it's so majestic. The things that are just so beyond us, that talk about internal creation and other things as well. I mean, we could go down another track on that. Anyway, I just feel so blessed to be here and to be here with you. Thank you very, very mucho. As always, I love you so very, very, very mucho. My lips are frozen. Shining my light. Oh, and it's a warm one. Shining my light to brighten yours. And I think we'll see you tomorrow. See ya. Ciao.